Man, don't make the trick, so you know we about to turn on.
You better not ask for nothing.
We have
You
that at home.
better
We
not
have that
ask
at
for
home.
nothing.
We have
You
that at home.
better
We have
not
that
ask
at
for
home.
nothing.
We have that
You
at home.
better
We have
not
that
ask
at
for
home.
nothing.
We have that
You
at home.
better
We have
not
that
ask
at
for
home.
nothing. Feeding you greatness, everything you need. Pull up to the table and fulfill your baby. Got the last week for the culture and what's trending. Foolishness and friends, everything in between.
We have that
But
at
y'all
home.
not
We have that
listening
at home.
when we say
We
don't
have
ask
that
for
at home. We have that
nothing.
at home.
Whatever
We
you
have that
need,
at home. Anything, everything, all things.
you'll be fulfilled
We have
right
that
here.
at home. We
Tune
have that
in,
at
turn
home.
up.
Turn up. Turn up.
It's King, it's Moni, it's Jeesh. This is We Have That at
Okay. Welcome, everybody. We are super excited, as we always are, when we have guests at the table. And if you know, just look around at us real quick. We are dressed to impress. We could be on the campaign trail. What? We're here talking about politics again, and we have a guest with us tonight, and we are super excited. Miss Marie Pinkney is going to be joining us. Now, Marie is running for state senator in Delaware. Shout out to Kimi Keem, Delaware resident. We want to talk about local elections, how important they are, and pick Miss Pinkney's brain a little bit about, what information she can give us, help us be more informed, make better decisions. Super excited, yes.
And everybody, it's time to bring in Miss Marie.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, Marie.
Woo!
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
Excited.
Feeling
I'm
good.
excited too.
Inspired.
That too, all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
We know you're very busy, so we want to thank you again for being here today. We're so excited.
It's my pleasure. I'm excited. I love a good podcast.
So let's jump right into it.
Yes, we gave a little intro about you to the people. Is there anything you want to say about yourself to give an introduction about who you are, what you represent?
Sure. I don't want to kind of reiterate anything that you guys might have already said, but so my name is Marie Pinkney. I am kind of the more exciting thing about me is that I am the Democratic candidate for Delaware's 13th State Senate District. After a very long primary, we have made it to the other side, but we are still in the middle of the campaign trail. I'm a social worker. I am everybody's favorite auntie. I am a Black woman, a member of the LGBTQI community, just a few of the hats.
Amazing.
Okay. Many hats.
We are loving it. All right, let's jump right into it. We have some questions.
Let's do it.
All right, first question. So I was looking at your website and I'm checking everything out. It says on there, and I was really interested in this point, that you're not a career politician. And I know automatically that can go two ways. One of them is that you're inexperienced. Other way is that you come in with a fresh perspective and a new view. Wondering, how are you going to use that to your advantage while you're running?
Sure. So true to my millennial self, one of my favorite current elected officials, well, a few of my favorite current elected officials are the squad. And a few of them recently did a little fun Instagram video where they were basically saying experience doesn't pay the bills, right? So it's very easy for people to say that I'm inexperienced. I beg to differ. I might not have a political background, and I honestly feel like that's a strength for me. I'm not here because I wanted to be a politician. If we're being honest, I think politics is quite gross. but it's nasty, y'all. It's nasty. But I'm a social worker, and that is the hat that I bring to this, because I went into the field of work. I put my career on a path that was set on helping people, and I felt like this was the next way to do that. I have worked in the field for almost 10 years, and it got exhausting. Like, it got really hard to do this thing that I got $100,000 worth of student loan debt for, because it just felt never ending. Like, to me, it was feeling like I was just patching up one person, getting them out of the door, and then the next 15 were coming through with issues that we could fix from the beginning. And I just felt like that wasn't happening with our elected officials. Like, people become politicians and they forget that they are voted to be there, that they're supposed to represent people. And with the work and the background that I have, I will carry those stories with me all the time. Like, there are so many stories I could tell you guys about the work that I do. Most informative for me was working in trauma at the hospital. So I spent 3 years working in the ICU there. And every time we read news headlines in Delaware about people being shot, those people came to the ICU where I worked. Their family members came to the ICU where I worked. And because I was the only social worker in the ICU, like, the nurses and the doctors, they can patch up all the broken bones, but they don't know what to do when people's feelings are hurt. They don't know what to do when people are sad. So they look at me like, I don't know how you do your job. Little do they know I say the same thing to them, because it's nasty. I don't do blood or any of that stuff, but I do tears and I do emotions. And I think that always carrying those stories is what is going to make me an effective legislator. And one of the things that I always say too is that we need to stop looking at it as people are politicians. Like, yes, that is a term that is coined, but more importantly, we're public servants. Like, we are here and we are elected to serve the public, and who better to do that than a social worker?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Marie.
Amazing.
You're on the ground working. That is hard work. Like, you see it. Yeah, you're right there. I love it.
She's seeing it all. So I think that that's a key factor. The human factor, the feeling. You see how people hurt, what people need. So I think that that's very, very important.
I like that you said that you don't think of yourself as inexperienced, because you have a whole life's worth of experience. It doesn't have to be in one role. We all know that transfer goes. You could lead in one area, you could lead in another area. It's the skills.
Absolutely.
Listen, because what they don't tell you about policy and politics is that the elected officials, we have the ideas, but when it comes down to making those things into laws, the lawyers write the laws, y'all. The lawyers are the ones that write the laws. They get paid to do that. We come with the knowledge of the people that we're supposed to represent and how we can make their lives better. And how can you do that if you don't know what those people are going through?
Amen to that. So you're the bridge, you're personable, and that's what I feel like everybody in politics should be, because you're the voice of the people.
Exactly. So I can't think of a better way to put it.
I appreciate that from you, that perspective, because it's important.
Thank you.
All right, next question. All right, this one I think is a little more general than like to you specifically. So we talk on the podcast and we get into it. And we have opinions. It's a little spicy. A lot of people want to vote. They don't know who to trust. They don't know where to go for reliable information. And a lot of people check out or say, like, I don't believe in this. I don't want to vote for either one or any of the people that are running, or I don't know enough about it to advocate for one person. What do you say to just getting yourself informed so you feel like confident making a decision and voting for someone?
That is such a good question. I'm really glad you guys asked that, especially now, right? Because if you was never gonna vote in an election, this is the one that you need to put your pride aside and vote in this election. Please. So I'm glad that you asked that. One thing that I try to stress to people is to do your own research. Like, make a list of the things that are the most important to you, and then do your research. Because one thing about elected officials, everything that I'm gonna say we, because I'm gonna speak it into existence. One thing about us is that everything we do is public. That's why I stress the term public service. Every vote that we take, most of our private lives, if you Google right now, quiet as this kept, you can find my address real easily. Like everything about us is public and it's for a reason. Like we're looking at this president right now who won't tell us what's going on with him medically, but medical records, like elected official, your medical records for president anyway, are not even covered under HIPAA. So everything about us is public, especially the votes. So make a list of like the 3 things that are most important to you, and then go see how the people who are asking for your vote. You know, one thing about Delaware is because Delaware is so small, like this is a state where you're likely to run into Joe Biden at the grocery store. And that affords us a luxury that a lot of states don't have. Like it is very easy to get access to your elected officials in this state. Take them to coffee and ask them the hard questions, because 9 times out of 10 in Delaware, you can get that. It might take a week or so, but you can get that. Ask them the hard questions. Don't just fall for the trap of they're a nice person, so I'm going to vote for them because they seem like a nice person, because they can be as nice as they want to, but when they take those votes down on that floor, that's what impacts your life. I don't care if you're nice. Most people are nice. How are you voting? How are you impacting my life on a day-to-day basis? The reason that I ran for this seat is because one of the people that, the person that I ran against in the primary election, he voted, matter of fact, he didn't even vote. Like he withheld. He was the most powerful legislator in the Delaware state legislation. And because of his power, he withheld gun legislation from our state that would have made us a little bit safer. And I'm like, sir, you can be as nice as you want to be, but those families that are getting shot are coming to the ICU where I work. I don't care if you're nice, because what you're doing is not saving the lives of these families. So hold people accountable and recognize that in all reality, like you have the power. And I understand that, especially when we're talking about Black and brown people, right? Like we understand that our vote feels like it doesn't count. But let me make it a little bit more personal to you. I won my election by 282 votes. My good friend Medina Wilson Anton, she's slated to be the first practicing Muslim woman in the state legislature, won her election for state house by 43 votes.
Come on.
We can sit right here right now on this call and text 43 people. So don't tell me that your vote does not count. It counts. And you know, we have been led to believe that our votes don't count. I'm promise y'all, if we sat here and really got into this, you probably don't remember civics class. Like, and
oh God, I think I only teach
civics. You had one civics class. That's systemic. That's intentional. Where is designed for us to not care about that stuff. It is designed for that. But one of the things that I'm really here to make sure people understand is that I'm just a normal person. Like I grew up in Newcastle. I went to Newcastle Middle, and I graduated from Howard. I'm just a normal person.
Yes.
I was just tired. Like I was tired, and all it takes, I'm not saying to run, that's not for everybody. Run if you want to. If it is for you, run. But recognize that at a minimum, like your vote really does hold so much power and so much weight. And don't let anybody think that it does, make you think that it doesn't.
That is a word. And for you to have won,
there you go.
Yes, and for you to have won against a prominent politic, you weren't the only one feeling the way that you feel. And another thing where people say that their votes don't count, another thing that comes to mind is voter suppression. People believe that the votes don't count, but they believe in voter suppression. And how does that go hand in hand if your vote doesn't count? Why are the machines broken down? Why are things shut and closed? Why are they creating laws that stop you from being qualified to vote? Why are they drilling up mailboxes? Why is the post office being dismantled if the vote didn't count? They would be chilling. They'd be on the beach in Tahiti. That's it.
Not minding their business at all. Listen, why you think that's the only real voter suppression is the only reason Stacey Abrams is not the governor in Georgia right now, because of voter suppression.
We
like,
watched it.
It's
and that's
real.
a great
it's
thing.
So
we
real.
see these things, we're bothered and upset, and then even though you're upset about voter suppression, the vote doesn't count. It don't go together. You know, and a lot of people are discouraged seeing what they're seeing, so that's where their head goes, like, I don't matter. Right. So we want to thank you for giving us that word.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, y'all.
You ready. I love
this is fun. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
ask really good questions. You know, these are the questions that you guys have asked and are asking are a lot different than the usual ones that I get. So I am thankful to y'all for
Yes,
talking about the real stuff, the stuff that really hits people.
absolutely.
And you hitting us with the real answers. I love it. I'm so
Nitty gritty.
all right.
Okay, there you go.
I guess this is similar to the question that we just asked a little bit. Like, what would you say to the people of color who feel as though their vote doesn't count or they don't have a voice when it comes to politics? I think that's pretty similar. You may have answered that.
I think Akeem nailed that himself. You
Yeah.
know, if it like if
Thank
it didn't
you,
matter, they wouldn't be
Marie.
doing everything they could to stop it.
Yeah,
Yep.
for real. I think that in the more recent, we're in the middle of a big presidential election. So my question to you, I think one of the ones everybody wants to know, how do you feel about our presidential candidates?
Do you hate Trump? Just you can say it. No,
Little backstory. I love a good graphic tee. I love a good graphic tee. And
What does your tea say?
Says I'm rooting for everybody black, Issa Rae. But I was debating because the other t-shirt that I had that I wanted to wear says not my president. And I should have went with that one because then I wouldn't have had to answer the question. I could have just
And that would have been the end. That would have been the end.
Skated the question. Yeah. I am looking forward to this president being a one-term president, period.
Okay.
Like, no more. I think that one of the things that I keep saying to people is that so many horrible things have happened this year,
Mm-hmm.
but without them, I wouldn't have won this election. Kamala Harris wouldn't be on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we cannot let all of the tragedy that happened this year go in vain. Like, it has to happen for a reason. And if we do nothing else, this president has to be a one-term president. Make no mistake, democracy is under attack.
Mm-hmm.
All of the luxuries that we are afforded are under attack. And if he is not a one-term president, it's bad. Like, get your passport, get your green card, get your visa.
I agree.
Because
Saying that.
we're not okay. We're not okay.
And I was saying a lot of people were saying they were going to flee the country before, kind of like when this first started happening, like half jokingly, half serious. I'm like serious now. Like, I don't want to be in the country when it's run by a president like that. And especially if they get elected a second term, it's not just the president. It is like the whole country. We need a whole shift, like a real shift in thinking and the way we operate, because it's not a democracy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's capitalist and it changes the way people operate.
What we're not talking about, like Donald Trump I firmly believe Donald Trump is going to be a one-term president, but what we're not talking about are going to be the lasting effects of his term. He has packed the Supreme Court, the lower courts, like, and those seats, those people stay in those seats. We just saw RBG, those people stay in those seats until they die. And the way that they vote and rule, that lasts generations.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot afford another term of him. We cannot give him I think are 2 other seats that are likely to be up in this next presidential term. We can't do it.
Right,
we can't do it.
That's my thing. Like, we see a lot of this stuff. That's like the main thing I see. If you guys don't vote for anything else, vote for these stressful ass situations that we're seeing on TV, for the way that you're not okay with living your life right now with these masks and everything shutting down, from your music venues to your favorite restaurants, your favorite getaways. Like, we were stuck in our homes and having to wear masks and stand in lines for hours all throughout the summer. I was looking up store hours and somebody left a complaint that the store had them out in the blazing heat for too long. And I'm like, it ain't the store fault.
Yeah.
That you were standing out in the heat. Like, do you know what's going on in the world? And I know who they voting for. And you went to Google and left a comment that the store had, like, little things like that. You have to be tired of a lot of this. And even the people who are marching for not wearing a mask rights are rooting for the person that has them wearing a mask. We've been through so many issues in this world, pandemics. Ebola was the last one, where it didn't spiral out of control like this. And I think that it speaks volumes if we think back. We've been through most of them. The
Yeah.
bird flus, the Ebola,
The
whatever
MRSA.
they are, the Zika flu. We've seen so many
All
of
of it.
these, and it's never gotten this serious. So if you're sitting home tired of that, it should be a reason for you to go out and vote. I was speaking with a coworker who said she's not going to vote because she doesn't really know much about either person. She doesn't really know how to move. And I'm like, but the information is there for you. You don't want to get in those debates at work. So I just like, okay. But the information
That's
is
when you
there.
slide a per my email. I have outlined some information and some websites and some resources for you. Take a look at these. Inform yourselves.
Just out here spreading nonsense. I think, and that's a lot of people just misinformed, uninformed, listening to whatever they hear. I know, like a lot of older people too, like they are of the mind where they watch the news and they trust the news. They trust everything that they hear on there, everything they read in the newspaper, and like that's scary because if you can't, they're like outright just straight up lies that you, when you hear them told to you, you know it's a lie, and they just perpetuate this, like, you know, alternative facts.
It's wild.
It's scary.
We're going to wrap this up on a higher note. Okay. Moni, what you got?
All right, Marie, we wanted to see if we get some of your favorites, get to know you a little bit about like as a person a little more. Can we do music? You have a favorite rapper?
Oh, J. Cole.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
I'm not a huge rap fan, quiet as it's kept, but J. Cole, that man and his lyrics, I'm waiting for another album. Like, I'm waiting for his locks to get real crazy because you know the good music is coming. When the locks start looking rough, you know the good word is coming.
Yes.
Love it. What else we got?
What's your favorite Delaware restaurant?
Ooh.
That's a really good question. My favorite Delaware restaurant is Norlees in Old Newcastle. Have you ever been there?
I've been to Old Newcastle. I've never been to that restaurant.
You have to go to Norlees. I was actually really terrified. I thought we were going to lose it to COVID, but we still have Norlees.
Okay.
So, little backstory. I actually stopped eating meat during COVID. Like, I was reading about what was going on in the chicken plants and the factories, and I was like, okay, I'm good on meat. So I can't do it. But Norlees, before I stopped eating meat, they have this cheesesteak that has the andouille sausage in it.
You're going to have me drive to Delaware.
I will treat you to this cheesesteak just so I can watch you eat it because I can't eat it anymore. It's so good. It makes your mouth water. If you go in, you have to wear like a sweater because it's always perpetually cold in there. But like, it's such a nice vibe. The food is like French Quarter food. So they have like po' boys and it's got a little bar. They're all dressed in black. The lights are dim. They got the skulls and the beads all over. It's like such a vibe. But that
is a whole secret.
Yeah, it's quiet as it's kept in, even more quiet as it's kept if you use Groupon. They always have a Groupon. So saving some dollars.
Ahead there. I love recommendation.
What's a fave, Geesh?
Well, you said you don't listen to rap music, so like, what's your favorite song right now?
Oh, right now, it's probably not going to be current, but Alina Baraz has this song called oh my god, what's this called? What is it called?
A hit.
Oh, I'm blanking. But the whole album is just bomb. But the first song on the album is like, it reminds me of my whole little love situation. So I just be jamming to the song, like all in love and happy and stuff. It's just
That's what's up. Ain't not like that good love.
I love a good love song or a good oldie. I'm old, so.
Now, okay, so if we talking favorite songs ever, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Wow.
Ever for always.
Oh, okay.
I love this.
I can't sing a lick.
Do you see the Nobody's Supposed to Be Here challenge right now?
Is there a challenge?
Yeah.
But you're a politician. You wouldn't see it. It's okay. They have to do that now.
Yeah,
They got to do the bridge of the song.
remember making the band when, what was her name? Was it Dawn?
Dominique.
And she, and the tear just had to come
She
down.
participated in it.
Yes, this was like, I can't dance, y'all, but I'm gonna make sure I don't lose this vote because I'm gonna sing into your heart.
Yes.
I'm
going to send it to you so that you can see it.
Always.
Yes.
Please send me all the challenges.
And there was a little baby in there too. Mama was singing about to hit it. He walked into the camera and like hit the note.
I'm about to be up all night watching them.
Right. You're going to be seeing all of it. Do you have a favorite book at the moment?
I don't think I'm super indecisive. This was actually a really hard question because I love books. And since I've been running, like I really haven't had a chance to sit down. I don't think I've read a whole book, like an actual like hardcover book in the entire year of 2020. Thank God for Audible though. So I'm tied between two. One is the current book that I'm reading, the autobiography of Assata Shakur. I'm like halfway through and it is, I don't want to say fire because it's actually pretty tragic, but it's a really, really good book.
Mm-hmm.
But my all-time favorite is Beloved. Like I love some Toni Morrison. Okay. Beloved is by far the most beautiful movie I've ever seen in my life. And the book just takes it there.
I'm not sure if I quite understand the movie, even though I've seen it a couple times, but I get it. I understand.
It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack there. We would have to have a whole nother podcast episode just to unpack all of Beloved.
I get it. So before we go, do you want to give people details about when the election is here for when you're running and things like that?
So one of the dates that I really want to put out there to people is October 10th. If you are not registered to vote, please register to vote. The deadline is October 10th. And again, like we said, we need every single vote in this election, y'all. We can't afford to miss one. We have to show this occupant of the White House that he has to go by any means necessary. So please, please, please do not let October 10th come and skate you by. After that, one of the next most important dates is November 3rd. That is the general election. So that is where we will vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I will also be on that ballot if you live in Delaware in the 13th Senate District. So one thing that people have been getting confused, we actually had a big issue with that on election day in the primary, is that I'm not going to be on everybody's ballot. You have to live within my Senate District, which is parts of Newcastle, Newark, and there. If you want to learn more information about me, because don't vote blindly. Don't vote blindly, y'all. Know who you voting for. I might be cool, but like we said, nice shouldn't get your vote. Like look me up too, hold me accountable too. Our website is marieforsenate.com. You can learn information there, and then all of our social media is there too. We have a pretty heavy Facebook presence, so there's a lot of information there. And then my phone number and email address are there too. And I might send you talking to me personally.
Yes, Marie.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hit that again, Akeem. Hit that again.
Yes.
I'm not religious, right? Let me tell you one last story and then I'm gonna be quiet. Well, because you just made me think about it. I'm not religious, but on election night when I won that primary, when I tell you I started shouting,
yes.
Little crazy.
I don't know, but I like it.
Yes. Your story is so amazing. We're happy that you came and shared with us. I think that the information you gave us was extremely eye-opening and giving people a different perspective of something that is icky and nasty. So we want to thank you for being here. We'll put all your information in our bio so that people can get to you.
Yeah, so real, so down to earth. Appreciate it.
I'm inspired.
Yes!
Thank you guys.
I'm the one.
He's the hard one to crack. He's the hard one to crack.
I could tell that vibe is coming through. I could tell. Listen, the honor is all mine, y'all. Thank you for having me on your show. I really, really appreciate it. And to your audience, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say, because I'm not far from removed from what anybody is doing. What I do impacts your life. What you do impacts my life. So we're all in this together.
Yes, thank you so much. And in the spirit of rooting for everybody Black, Peace out, Marie.
Bye.
Bye,
Give it a
y'all.
little boost. Yes. Good night, y'all.